Today I want to introduce my audience, a very professional person and his field. How long you in your field work?
This would be my 25th year.
20, yeah, a quarter of century, right?
Correct.
His name is Roger, okay, Archibald. And I would like ask some question about what he doing when he came in America, because I didn't feel it that he came in America. He looks like he born in America. You born in America?
No, I was not born in America.
Okay, tell us.
Actually, I was born in the Caribbean. I was born in one
Wow.
of the Caribbean islands of Trinidad and Tobago. And I came here as a young man
Okay.
and attended high school.
Okay.
And in high school, I went to Boys and Girls High School right here in Brooklyn.
Okay.
And after high school, I went on to Brooklyn College, again, right here in
Wow.
Brooklyn.
Okay.
And after some time, after graduating from college, I went on to law school. I went to Brooklyn Law School. So I did everything in Brooklyn. I'm
Wow.
really a Brooklyn boy.
So how many years you spent for education?
Wow. Well, let's see. 4 years of high school,
Okay.
4 years of college, 3 years of law school.
And tell me a little bit, during the college, before you, attorney, right? Before take law, what you do, what you done?
Oh, well, in college, I majored in, well, I had two majors. One was speech,
Okay.
and the other one was broadcast journalism. There was a point that I aspired to do what you're doing now. I wanted to be a journalist, and
Okay.
that was a lot of fun. I produced and wrote and directed television scripts and what have you. But something about what I was doing sort of propelled me in the area of law. Because when you think about law, it covers virtually everything. There's a law for virtually every single discipline in life. There are laws and rules that govern it. And I just needed to get an understanding of what those rules were, so I could then impart that knowledge to my friends, my family, and the population at large.
And your biography, you even was like a salesperson, right?
Correct.
Tell me something, was help to your career?
Absolutely. Before going to law school, well, most people usually have a direct track between undergrad and law school. They go directly. I didn't take that route. I decided to work first. So I had a job in the pharmaceutical industry, marketing pharmaceuticals for diabetes, for high cholesterol, high blood pressure, and things of that nature. And my job was to go to the various hospitals and doctors' offices in and around Brooklyn and convince them to prescribe the brand of products that the company I worked for had. So the dialogue on a daily basis between myself and the physicians and the nurses, I would believe, really prepared me for what I'm doing today, because as a trial lawyer, you have to interact with many different disciplines and have a comfort level with it. And I think that certainly helped prepare me for what I do today.
Language, I believe, is a strong weapon, or?
Well, you certainly have to have a good command of the language, and in this country that language would be English.
Yeah.
And a command of the language coupled with a command of the subject area that you're dealing with. Like my firm, we have quite a few areas that we represent clients in. We do white-collar criminal cases, we do medical malpractice, personal injury, civil rights violations. And in civil rights, some people say, what do you mean civil rights? Well, if you go into a department store, for example,
Yes.
and they refuse to serve you because of whatever reason, they don't like the way you look, maybe the color of your skin, maybe the way you speak, maybe your ethnicity, maybe the fact that you may be a female or a male or what have you. There are laws in the United States that prohibit that. You can't discriminate against people based on those criteria. So that's a civil rights violation, and my firm would take the department store to court and get redress and financial compensation.
Can you tell me a little bit, I see you cover like a certain areas, right? And also a little bit about what this is white collar crimes.
White-collar crimes.
Yeah.
White-collar crimes are a very particularized type of crime. It's usually financial-related crimes. So, for example, some of the difficulties we had on Wall Street where folks were convicted or brought up on charges for what is called insider trading, that would be a white-collar crime. And we do those types of
Maybe
cases.
because his page is white?
Yeah.
Paper,
Well,
right?
I think they call it white collar because the folks that usually commit those crimes are usually higher up in a company. And in most companies, the supervisors and managers, they wear white collars as opposed to blue collars.
Okay.
Right.
Yeah. Blue
Right.
collar.
So that's why it's called white collar crime, but usually it refers to financial type crimes like embezzlement, tax fraud, wire fraud, things of that nature.
Okay. Another question. You said about ethnicity. We have like almost 500,000 Russian people. Can you work with like this group of ethnicity? Can you help them?
Absolutely. Anyone that is not, they refer to them as a WASP, and that stands for White Anglo-Saxon Protestant. In this country is considered to be ethnic.
Okay.
So if you're Italian, you're ethnic. If you're Chinese, you're ethnic. If you're Caribbean, you're ethnic. If you're Russian, you're ethnic, etc., etc. And the beautiful thing about this country is that if you look back at the beginnings of this country, everybody that's here are immigrants.
Exactly.
The only native born or people that's native to this land are the American Indians or the Native Americans. That's it. We are all immigrants. Be that as it may, though, under the law, if you fall into any of the ethnic groups, then you're considered to be in a protected class. And by being in a protected class, it means that the general population can't keep you out of a job or a promotion or a raise because of your ethnic background. So for example, if at a particular company there are 30 employees and 2 happen to be Russian, and the rest are WASPs, and all the WASPs get promoted, all the WASPs get some form of monthly or weekly increase in salary, and the 2 Russians don't get it, then that is a form of discrimination, and we would look into that and make sure that the reasons that the management give for not promoting or giving the raises to the Russian is a legitimate reason. And most times it's not legitimate. It is not. And when the court realizes that, then they, what we call, they craft a remedy. They either get you your job back, get you the promotion, get you a raise, and punish the employer for committing an act of discrimination.
Okay. All right. What about, I see the international relations. That's what you talking just previously about this, right? Or something like a corporator. How it works?
Okay, international relations. Well, one of the things about my firm is that we don't only practice law in the state of New York. I'm also licensed to practice law in the Caribbean and in any Commonwealth jurisdiction. So for example, the Bahamas is a Commonwealth jurisdiction. Australia is a Commonwealth jurisdiction. All of the Caribbean,
that's good.
Commonwealth jurisdiction. So my firm take on matters all over in the Commonwealth. And for example, we've had cases where there is a lawsuit or there is an action between a government and a private individual. And we'll go in and we, most oftentimes, we'll be representing the government. We have represented thus far the government of St. Lucia, the government of Grenada, and the government of Jamaica. So it all depends, and in these international relation type issues, there's usually some form of either a maritime sales contract, they're selling hundreds of tons of sugar or oil or some other type of commodity, and that's what we get involved in. We represent either the purchaser or the seller, or if it's a contract that was breached, one of the parties, either the party that claims the contract was breached or defending a party who they claim breached the contract. So that's what we do with international relations. It's quite exciting.
Okay. May I ask you a question about some photo I see on your wall? Clinton, right?
Yes, with
Can
Hillary
you tell
Clinton.
Hillary Clinton? Can you tell a little bit about this?
Absolutely. Well, that photo actually goes back about 15 or so years. That was when she was actually the first lady. Yeah, she was the first lady at that time.
So you meet with the first lady that
Absolutely.
time.
And she was running for
Okay.
the Senate seat in New York. Right. And there was a function here in Brooklyn for Brooklyn Democrats, and she was a guest speaker, and we had an opportunity to have a nice chat. And at the time, the group that I was a part of, we supported her, and she went on to become, you know, the first female senator from the state of New York, which made news, and then being also the first lady to have done that. And I guess the rest is history, and hopefully she'll become the first female president of the United States of America, and that would be very exciting.
And then probably we get another photo.
Well, hopefully we get a little bit more than a photo, but
Okay.
we shall see.
I see you have a lot of areas and you, I know, working hard.
Yes.
But can you tell a little bit about how you rest when you finish your everyday job? What do you do? Can you tell a little bit?
I could tell a little bit. Well, I'm a tennis fanatic. I love tennis.
Okay.
I play it at least twice a week.
Mm-hmm.
And my partner and I, we've been playing tennis together now for about 10 years, and I've
Wow.
known him for about 40 years.
Mm-hmm.
And we have some intense grudge matches.
Wow.
And most often, I'm the one that's on the losing side because he's so much better than me. But I enjoy playing with him anyway.
Yeah, that's
I do
all.
have my opportunities when I give him a good whipping, but those are far and few in between. It's usually the other way around.
Okay.
Yes.
That's very interesting. Okay. So that's why I see you have good shape, right?
Yes.
You feel good and looks good. right?
Yes, yes. Indeed.
Okay. All right. So that's why sometimes court, and I see how lawyer start talking maybe 2-3 hours without stop.
Indeed. How do we
can
do
you-
that?
Yeah, how you do that?
Well, most lawyers that I know are dedicated lawyers. They want to be lawyers. And the training that we get is very intense training that prepares us to go into court and represent either side, and we do so zealously. The preparation is intense, and it's many, many long hours. So the preparation, once it's done, you don't have to refer to notes anymore because it's all in your head, and it could just be what we refer to as a stream of consciousness. You're just having a discussion. And when you're just having a discussion, you can speak for hours on end because you already did the work, you did the preparation, and that's the key to a good lawyer, is one who is prepared at all times. And when you say you're prepared, it means you're prepared for any eventuality. It doesn't matter what they throw at you, you are prepared because you did your homework.
Okay.